to pour solution to a beaker. Yep, this one is a good, very specific, show students' process skill, right? To get the real detailed data, they use glass rod to pour solution. Or if you want to measure students' process skill, sometimes you can use a written test. In written test, you can have two different type of questions: selection type, supply type. Selection type written test, you can put like true false question, multiple choice question, matching item. For supply type, you can ask some essay question, short answer question, or closed form or complete form. You can put some blank in the as part of the paragraph, and students fill that out, right? So you can do this kind of written test with your students to measure their process skill, inquiry, attitude, and content too. Test question. When you want to develop test questions, of course, you can have a selection type or supply type questions you can do. And also, you better have, so you can have a selection type, supply type, and then, of course, think about, the answer gonna be, and each question credit. How much point you gonna put for each question, and in what chapter you gonna use for this question. Okay, so this question can come from some chapter 1 or chapter 2, so you can think about it and then you can make question here. Sometimes you can have goal like this question just for knowledge level, this question for comprehension level, this question for application level, and also you need to think about difficulty rate. Difficulty is hard, moderate, easy one. So you can give them all different kind of questions. So use this table to develop your written test questions. Okay. Then you can think about all your areas of questions. Okay. Especially attitude. Some teachers maybe ignore attitude improvement. Attitude toward the science is likeness of science. So once the students like science more, then their science performance improved. So measuring attitude also a good way to understand their improvement in science. Okay? Cooper classified 5 affective categories. Manifestation of favorable attitude towards science and scientists. Okay? And acceptance of scientific inquiry as a way of thought. Adoption of a scientific attitude, enjoyment of science learning experiences, development of interest in science and science-related activities, development of interest in pursuing a career in science. Okay, so these all things we can say scientific attitude. But I like to say just the likeness of science. But yeah, here's some attitude, a science attitude towards science, adoption of a scientific attitude, enjoyment of science learning experience, development of interest in science and science-related attitude. So when your students show some of these, then they like science. Okay. To measure science attitudes towards science, you can use some like science. You can have these kind of questions like science classes are fun or boring. So you can give some scales between fun and boring. Or you can use a Likert scale, or strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, strongly agree. Like science is the worst enemy. Then students can give some scale like I agree, I strongly disagree, or something, right? So they can give some Likert scale for this attitude survey question. Or you can use this observation scale. Perform experiment in creative way. So you ask this question, perform experiment in creative way. Like, of course, you can give some topic like how much a plant gonna grow in a day. To measure the growth in a day, perform the experiment in creative way. Okay, so students gonna develop some experiment their own way. Then you just observe and give them some score. If they have a very creative way of experiment, then you can give more scores by observe. Okay, if they have very good score in this creative way, that means they have improvement in attitude toward the science. And in Texas, we have text test. Okay. Actually, before it was Texas Assessment, Knowledge, and Skill Test. So that was TAKS. But it's changed to Texas Essential Knowledge and Skill Test now this year, right? I'm just gonna show the text test from past. Okay, so grade 3, they have English and math, reading and math test too. 4th, same, reading and math test too. But grade 5, they have science test. Okay, so because when you can download their result 2009, because to download this it takes some time, so I'm just gonna give you that PDF file right away. It looks like this. Okay, grade 5 science 2009. And then this one is the test questions. Okay, you as a science teacher, you need to actually see the questions. Okay, so this is text test 2009 for science grade 5. See, which of the following can be found on both Earth and Moon? Okay, and then see. The graph show how much a plant grew over 4 days. According to the graph, how many centimeters did the plant grow between day 1 and 4? Okay, so between day 1 and 4. So students need to read graph. Okay? So when you actually see the state test, you will know what area you need to more focus. Of course, your teaching always excellent and great, but in the national level, what kind of thing they want you to focus more, or what kind of standard do they have? So when you see the national test, then you will understand how your teaching is. Right? So try to check the Texas test and see if your teaching is balanced based on Texas standard. Okay? And this is the result 2010 and 2011 for elementary science. This one show that all elementary students has 78% met with the standard, so Texas standard, 78%, and 2011, 79%. So 1% increased. Actually, when you go to website, I put the website, just a second, the address. If you want to see the text result, then there is a website. Okay, this one is the place where I got this. So when you go this TEA website, where it show all the statewide performance result, the text, grade 3 to 11. When you go this, then you will see each grade, like grade 3, and then grade 5. That was the grade 5 for science, okay, that I just. So you can see more other graders result from this website. Okay, see this one, reading. This one is for science. Okay. 5, and then it's just to show. Let's see. It's 2003. See, it's not grade 5. I'm sorry. Anyway, because it show a lot of data, right? So I just took only 2010 and 11 for grade 5. And then I put on this slide. Okay. So when you see the students grade 5, 78%. In 2011, 79% met with the standard. Not bad. And when you see more details among this 78, African Americans 66% and 67% met standard. And then white 89, 89. Economically disadvantaged 69, 70. Limited English proficient 39, 41, special ed 45, 46. All students increased, but you need to take care of some specific ethnic groups. Like white, still we need to improve, but you need to also pay attention to economically disadvantaged and also limited English proficient. Because they are good, but because of English, they couldn't show their skills and knowledge. So that's your role to take care. So you need to pay attention to this English, limited English proficient group. And then, of course, special ed students, they also have good ability in science, but they are not showing good enough. Okay. So try to focus each student, okay?